Thinking about your next travel destination? Just got back from the beach and looking for a different type of adventure? Or maybe you're just someone that enjoys history and wants to see every inch of the globe. Well, as time has gone by, some places that are found on this earth have stayed in use, while some got left behind due to unforeseen circumstances, changing times, or various reasons. In today's video, we are taking a look at 6 abandoned places on Earth you can actually visit. Although, maybe 1 or 2 of the places on this list may leave you asking, why would anybody ever want to? But before we get into it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get it. Number 1 is the Glowworm Tunnel in New South Wales, Australia. Located in Wanli National Park, a few hours outside of Sydney, is this long abandoned tunnel. The 400-meter long tunnel was built in the early 1900s as part of the railway for the thriving mining industry in Newnes, Australia at the time. Today, this long abandoned tunnel is a damp, dark footpath that is illuminated by a magical green-blue light that comes from countless glowworms that cling to the side of the tunnel. Believe it or not, this abandoned railway tunnel is actually very popular for families, tourists, and people living in Sydney. Many people visit the abandoned tunnel just to see the glowworms in their natural environment. Further, the area surrounding the abandoned tunnels is actually very impressive. Visitors will get a glimpse of tall forests, lush tree ferns, narrow gorges, and a stunning pagoda rock. While in the area, if you're lucky, you may even spot a swamp wallaby or a koala. Number 2 is the Wanli UFO Village in Taiwan. Built in 1978, located in the Wanli district, is a rural area most well known for its fishing harbors and geopark. A short distance from the popular geopark is the surfing community, known as Emerald Bay, which boasts beautiful white sands. But that's not all you will find in this area, as this was once a destination for a cheerful beachside vacation resort. Throughout the area, you will find homes or rooms that are shaped like UFO pods. Emerald Bay was once a popular resort area that provided the people of Taiwan with the rare opportunity to enjoy a beach vacation during a time when most of Taiwan's coastline was off limits. Back in the days when Taiwan's economy was unstoppable, the area, like many others around Taiwan, was developed for mass tourism. Unfortunately, Taiwan's economy eventually slowed down, and the tourists that once packed the beach and the hotels all but disappeared, leaving Emerald Bay to become somewhat of an abandoned ghost town. Today, the combination of whimsical architecture, pastel coloring, and decades of decay is a little bit unsettling, but at the same time, an interesting place in history. Number 3, the Hotel del Salto in Colombia, located about 18 miles outside Bogota. This once luxury hotel was built in 1923 to host elite travelers visiting the Tequendama Falls area. Ordered to be built by the President of Colombia, the hotel was a place for the richest to gather and indulge in the most exceptional of experiences in the 1920s. Imagine a room viewing the stunning waterfalls and dining on the patio that offered impressive views. Once a hotel that delivered architectural marvels, epic views, and art, eventually became abandoned and closed down in the early 1990s. There are a few reasons why the hotel eventually became abandoned. The hotel's notoriety comes from 2 primary sources. One is that long before the hotel even existed, many Muisca people would venture to this area to take their own lives by jumping into the falls. And once the hotel was built, the theme never changed. Several Colombians chose to take their lives by jumping into the falls. Supposedly, guests would hear cries from the inside of the hotel, which led to claim that the hotel was haunted. Further, in the 1970s, sewage started affecting the river. The hotel then closed in the early 90s as a result of the overwhelming pollution of the river. Sadly, today the drive up to visit the hotel is often accompanied by views of much pollution. There are masses of white foam covering the river, and the water is polluted. But if a glimpse of history is your idea of an adventurous vacation, then the abandoned Hotel del Salto in Colombia is definitely a place to check out. Number 4 is the City Hall Station in New York. Nowadays, New York underground subway stations are often plagued by recent horror stories and news of crime, pollution, and anxiety for some living in New York City. But that surely wasn't the case in 1904, when Raphael Guastavino designed this station opened directly below City Hall. The beautiful subway station was in use until 1945, but it closed down because the curve of the platform was too sharp for newer and longer trains. The underground subway station is decorated with stained glass skylights, colorful tile, and brickwork and chandeliers. However, this work of art is sadly no longer accessible to commuters and passers-by, although the New York Transit Museum does offer a tour of the station. Number 5. The abandoned fishing village of Houtouwan in China. Roughly 40 miles from Shanghai on a remote island sits the abandoned village of Houtouwan. Normally, there would be nothing special about a relatively small village that was abandoned during the 90s for no reason. For no reason in particular other than the lack of transportation on and off the island. However, this village is the exception to the rule, because Houtouwan doesn't look like every other abandoned ghost town out there. It has been reclaimed by nature, and now each building looks like something from a post-apocalyptic movie. The only difference between this village and a truly barren, deserted landscape is the fact that lush plants surround and cover each and every building within the area. While most of the buildings are broken down and partially dilapidated, there's a beauty there that has drawn many tourists from all over the region to experience it in person. It's known as the village that nature has reclaimed, and as of 2018, it was reopened to people who wanted to view it or explore it, of course for a price of admission. The allure of this village lies in its untouched dwellings. Though everything from the interiors of the houses to the way each yard is laid out has simply been left, as if its owners are due back at any moment to do the landscaping and cut the grass. This eerily thrilling atmosphere is exactly what makes this abandoned fishing village one of the world's most fascinating abandoned places in the world. And number 6 is the Island of the Dolls in Mexico. Located in the channels of Xochimilco, south of the center of Mexico City, is this terrifyingly historic island named the Island of the Dolls. Despite its status as a World Heritage Site, along with Mexico City, it's a well-preserved example of Aztec life. Xochimilco has received a certain amount of internet fame for this Island of the Dolls, hidden among the areas of many canals. This site is famous for hundreds of dolls and doll parts hanging from the trees and scattered among the grass. Although it looks more like a horror movie set than anything else, there is actually a story as to why these dolls are hanging from the trees in this area. And it really isn't the most pleasant, but according to legend, what happened was a young girl drowned entangled among the lilies of the canal, and her body was found on the banks of the Santampa Chinampas. A man claimed to have heard the girl crying out, I want my doll, and terrified, I want my doll. After finding the dead girl's body in a nearby canal, as well as her doll, he decided to display the toy in hopes of warding off evil spirits. And as years went by, many more dolls started to appear in the area. Today, daring souls can hire their own boat and venture out to get a glimpse of the island of the dolls. However, good luck finding or convincing a driver to actually take you there and see the view. Along with a decaying house and hanging dolls throughout the area, makes this probably one of the creepiest abandoned places on the face of this planet. Anyways, that wraps up 6 abandoned places on Earth that you may not have heard of. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe. Till next time, catch you in the next one.